episode of how we met and we were talking about friends. But when you go through life and you're doing something different, your tribe is what matters, right? So establishing and building that tribe is very important. So I think this episode we're gonna get into our friends.
What about your friends? Yes, friendships.
Yes, and the importance of building that circle.
I mean,
I
I was still vibing. I was like, I'll stop
let you hang it.
I get it.
Get your moment. This is the artist over here.
It's okay now. You good.
But the importance of building a tribe, and I think you said it a lot, like my tribe, the people that come up to support you, because I think that in the midst of what we're going through, when you don't have your family support, the people that you bring into your life is the next most important thing. It's lonely doing something different because within your own family, you isolating yourself basically, and you kind of feel like, man, I'm on this island by myself. So the people that you bring in to support you along that journey is so important.
I agree. And I think that's why I'm so big on tribe. I think you hit on it, Shayna. It's like, because I know we talked about this last episode, like when family's not available, you're looking for somebody you can connect with, right? Someone that you can like have those similarities, someone who just accepts you. So I think that's why I became so big on like, this is my tribe, because like these are people who love me, accept me, like, they can tell me what I'm doing wrong in a nice way, right? Like it's not about like, being, fake or phony. It's just like, I trust these people. And I think when you don't have that trust with your family, or you never knew what that looked like, you'll start looking for those people. And when you get them, it's like, it's my tribe. I'm hold on to them, hold dear. And so like, even when we all talk, like when we were talking last episodes, like, we kind of slowly built that trust, that understanding to be able to say, oh yeah, this is my tribe. So like, that's why I'm like, tribe is like super, super important to me. Like seriously.
And it's also not easy to find. I think in adulthood, it's so much harder to have friendships, right? Because you're in high school, you're like, oh, I'm going to be besties forever. And then everyone grows up, has kids, gets married, divorced, and then everything changes. And so for me, I found most of my friendships I found like at school or, on the job. But like lifetime friendships are hard because, again, you have to relate. You have to everyone has to be on the same page about, because I know even we've had conversations where I'm like, how come you haven't responded to my text yet? I know you see my text and you're like, well, girl, I got 3 kids and a husband.
Life going on.
Yeah, so just that understanding too in friendships is super important. But I know there's also other facets of friendships that we've talked about before as far as losing friendships, what that looks like, grieving friendships, and all that. So I think we should go into that today. And
no, it's crazy when you talking about like grieving friendship, because like I feel like when it comes to like you made a point about high school friends, right? It's like I don't really feel like I grieve that. Like it's like slowly after you graduate, you just slowly either gonna go left or right, so it doesn't like hurt. Because just like, well, people go to college, go away to college, people like different jobs. I think when they were an adult though, you lose those, that's when you start grieving, because it's just like, it's a little bit, for me, a little bit more investment, because like, we're kind of like already on the same path. We kind of think we know each other, and then like life happens, and it's just like, dang, I thought we were better than that. I thought we were closer to that. That's just how I feel, because I feel like as an adult, it's like more adult stuff going on, right? Like in high school and kids, it's like, oh, boyfriend, girlfriend. It's like little...
And we're all the same age, right? We're all forced to be at this location at one time, so it's easier to maintain that friendship because this is what it is, right? But when you become an adult, it's like, okay, like you just said, real life happens. So how do you have to put the investment into it in order for you to stay connected with each other. And if you don't, you will drift away. And sometimes that is natural. And I think you said this to me before many times, that it's okay. It's okay for that to happen, because I'm like, oh, loyalty. I got to stay close to everybody that, was good to me. And regardless of what's going on, I have to keep this connection even when it's not benefiting me. And that was a hard lesson to learn. It's like, it is okay to let go. It's okay for us to drift apart, because that season that we were in was that season, and something I had to deal with.
I'm not there yet. No. I'm almost there, but I still, it's like, okay, you can't take it personal. Like, you haven't heard from this person and da-da-da. So I'm getting there. Right? Because I'm like, for me, again, I said yesterday, like, my friends love them, ride or die. Like, we'll do anything for them. And so I'm like, how come she hasn't thought about me in 6 months or like a month, right? So I'm getting there, that it's not personal, and it's, everyone has their own lives too.
But Fran, I gotta say something though. You also shut down a little bit. Like
I do.
Because you'll have, these conversations are happening in your head. This is not happening with the other person. That's the problem.
Wait, now I'm crazy.
No, like, you're like, she haven't reached out. And it's like, I mean,
like, yeah, just hit me up.
Yeah. So like, it's a two issue, but I get it though too, because like when you are really ratted out, like you go like 120% for your friends, like you literally put on a whole ball for your friends and just like, I ain't heard from you. I just threw this like whole mega party. Like, we good? But like, but that's your love language too. Like you just, you, when you go hard for friends, you go hard for friends. So like, I can see like when you lose those relationships or relationships like drift off, like how it can like impact you, affect you. I go hard for my friends too, but I think I also like, I'm somebody who like, I isolate a lot. So it's just like, I don't take it as personal, because it's just like, I ain't there either, so like, but I still love you. So it's like,
from a distance,
right,
sometimes you need that though. You need that break in that separation. Because I think I'm a little bit like that too. I have a tendency when I have a lot going on in life to isolate. And I remember I was talking to my therapist about it, and like some of the things that we're going through, I never reached out to, you know, my college friends and told them about. And she was like, "Why not?" I didn't want to bring that to them, you know. And she was like, "But that's who you supposed to go to." And I remember I had a conversation with one of my friends, and she was like, "Yeah, that's what we're here for." And it made me feel better, like, okay, now I can unload this a little bit, whereas before I was a little hesitant on that. I'm like, you know, everything got to be a certain way, and I don't want to come with that energy. But in reality, I am like struggling, you know, and being okay to say, okay, you know what, I'm struggling right now, I'm kind of going through something, because you know they could pray for you, like that's the good thing about friends too, they build you up, lift you up and stuff like that. But when you take that away, you isolate, you dealing with that on your own, that's a choice that you choose to not have somebody fill in the gap with you and be there with you in that space. So I'm learning that still, because I do isolate sometimes. I'm like, oh man, it's too much, but I'm still trying to, you know, rely on my tribe and be okay with that. So I got a question for y'all. I know we talked about like it was easier to build a tribe in high school and things like that. Have you built what you would consider your corporates outside of you two? I know that y'all met as adults. In your adult life now, or are you still struggling with that, or is it something that you've been yearning for at this point, because you got your core?
I think for me, unless you want to go,
no, go ahead.
I think I'm content. I think I'm finally at a place of contentment when it comes to like my tribe, just because even the ones I built in my adult life in the beginning, it was based off trauma. Like a lot of the people who I consider friends were like trauma bonding, and like, and that's another thing when I talk about the isolation. Like, I also had to like get to a point where it's like, can we talk about things outside of like trauma? Like, I've poured so much. Like, I know my whole life story, but like, what if I'm not that no more? Like, can we still like vibe and talk? And that's how I lost a lot of people. Like, kind of just trickled off. I almost said I like the season, right? Like, I won't even say they just trickled off or we just don't talk. It's just outside of my trauma, we had nothing to talk about. So now that I'm in a different place, I feel like I'm content. Like, I got my core. Like, I'm not looking for like no new applications, but I will accept if they meet what I need right now. But like, I'm in contentment with my friends, my tribe. I think I am. Yeah.
So before I answer, I just want to get into these earrings. Who is this? Michelle?
Yes, all the black amazing women. Yes, thank you. Y'all know I love my earrings. Yeah, so I love my earrings.
I need the link for that one. I need me some. That's so cute.
Thank you.
But so I'm not closed to new friendships. Like, I'm open to them, but I'm also I'm not looking for new friendships. Because I think I do, you know, have standards. Just like I have standards for dating, like I have standards for friendships, right? But I'm not closed off. I think the last new friend I made was maybe like 2-3 years ago. And then, like, how do we define friendship? Because associates and friendships is a very thin line, right? For me, like, I'm like you. I'm not quick to go run to my friends and be like, hey, this is what I got going on. Because I think I can solve everything on my own. So
Miss Independent.
Right? No, seriously. You want to do a Neo?
Girl, I'm confessions. Like, this is what's going on. Can y'all hear me on three-way? Like, then y'all know my whole story. And they're like, oh, but I'm back with them. And I was like, what just happened? Y'all just told me. So I'm learning. It's like, mini stories.
That's okay, because that's just the same.
Yeah. But I think it's ego for me too. And if I'm being honest, like, I think it's ego too. Like, you want people to think you have it all together, right? You don't want your friends to be like, you're a mess over there. Like, not saying I have to be perfect, but for me, like, I'm prideful too. And I know that. So that's...
Maybe
oh, you see a connection.
We here, you know?
Okay.
Yeah, I think it's just that whole idea of, like you said, always having to have it together, right? When you, like, when you grow up a certain way, for myself, it's like, okay, everything was so chaotic. So now I'm finally in control of my life. And since I'm in control of my life, I want it to seem like I have it all together. So when it's not together, it's like I'm troubleshooting in the background. I don't even take a moment to stop to think like, let me feel what's going on. Let me address it. It's like, I got to solve this because I got other problems going on. I got time for this, And that's really like the old pattern. So even when I'm thinking, like, I ask you questions if you looking for new friends, I think I thought I wanted new friends because I couldn't see the value of, I'm not going to say the value. I couldn't see my friends that I had now because I was hurting so bad for what I didn't have, right? Okay. So I was focused so much on the deficit of, the relationship with my mom or my sisters or my family that I was like, okay, I'm leaning in on you guys, but now I'm leaning in on you guys, but it's like, you know what, this is enough. Yeah, I'm never gonna get what I need from that relationship, but this is enough. And I think I'm learning that more of being in the presence and being, hey, this is enough. And it took me losing one of my close friends to really be like, you know what, I gotta stop. Yeah, because that was the most hurtful thing ever, is like losing someone. And it's like, I gotta stop and appreciate these people because I'm going 1,000 miles per hour that I'm not stopping to actually smell the roses and appreciate the people that are standing in the gap, because all I'm doing is complaining about the ones that are not.
And friendship heartbreak is so real and nobody talks about it, right? We'll talk about the heartbreak with these men or women that we break up with, right? And then, we can grieve that for a long time. And then I feel like friendship heartbreak, like we keep that to ourselves. Like, girl, you don't bother. I don't care that we're no longer friends, right? Like, but it really, it hurts. Like, I've lost a friend or two too. And I'm like,
I want to preface this. My friend passed.
Oh, yours is a different loss. Okay. So I've had that too, like in high school. My friend was, my friend was, my high school friend was murdered when she was 22 or 23. So I've done that, and I've also had like the loss of a friendship. So, okay, so we were.
I just wanted to make sure, I'm like, because that hit me harder than it had hit like any death has ever hit me, and I've lost parents, and it just. Well, my father. I would say parents. I lost my father, and so it's like it was just a different type of loss to have to deal with, and it made me just realize like I need to love on the people that are showing up, because I'm always crying about the ones that are not there. It's hard to do. It is
because we focus on the negative. Like the human nature is to exasperate the negative.
You gotta shift that mindset because it's energy too. It's like I'm hurting myself by focusing on somebody that can't stand in the gap for what I need. I'm just like, I need to appreciate the ones that are, so that's kind of where I'm at. And when I say my healing journey and my growth and where I'm going to, that's where I'm at. And I know we were talking about too, I want to kind of bring this back to the mind, is the blueprint of the importance of friendship. And I'm going to speak on you a little bit.
Oh, shucks.
Because, you are, we talked about last time, queen of all these jobs, but also the opportunities, right? Yeah. And I'm going to give Shaniqua her flowers. I said, you probably heard this 1,000 times, but she is the type of friend that, hey, I'm doing something. She pulling people with her. Yeah, she is never that type of friend of like, she's excelling and looking back like, okay. No, it's like, hey, I got this opportunity. Let me see if I can get you into, how many jobs she tried to get me into finance at every company. She was like, they look at, I think what was the account executive.
It was like, just numbers.
I think it's accountant. I'm like, this is not an accountant job. She was like, oh, okay, well, look for another one. It's like, as I'm growing, I want to make sure you're growing. Even when I came back, and I was still trying to figure out, I think I was pregnant with Zion, and I was still trying to figure out what I'm going to do with my life. I needed a job. And she was like, well, you can go back to the county. I'm like, well, I don't even have a computer. Oh, don't worry about it. I'll fill out the application for you. So she filled out the application. I got the interview. I got the job back. And this is like, that's the type of support, that you need when you trying to, like, you struggling and things like that. And just her zest for trying things. I'm just following along like, oh, okay. I like this too. She made sure that I wasn't still stagnant, that I'm still growing, that we could talk about those things. And that's the beauty of, building that tribe. Because like when you're looking for, how do I do something different? How do I move different? You got to have a friend that's out here adventurous, because if not, you're going to be stuck in that same environment, in that same circle, same comfort zone. No,
and I think the reason I'm like that is because what y'all do for me, for like that tribe, like y'all are my sisters. And to say that and have living sister who doesn't deal with me is like, y'all give me what I'm missing, right? So like, it's like, for me, it goes beyond a friendship at that point. It's like, this is what I wanted to do or I was trying to do within like that sibling relationship, but rejection. But these people who aren't my siblings, they're taking it in and they're like, so it's like I'm being the sister that I always wanted to be, and y'all allowing me to have that space. So that's why like I'm always going hard. I'm always sending like random flowers, and like if something happens, I'm just like, well, I didn't mean to do that. And this is why I over explain, because I feel like that's what siblings would do. Like, so I don't see it like from a friend's lens, like, we are family. This is what families do to repair relationships, and they keep moving. And y'all always give me that space to like keep moving. It's never a situation where I feel like, oh, I did something wrong or we didn't agree, and then like I'm not talking to her no more. Like, y'all give me the space that a family would give, because families just don't. Normal families, from my understanding, don't just like have like sibling rivalries. Like, I'm never going to talk to them no matter what the situation. Like, they figure it out. Like, even just listening to you on the phone with your sister, like, I was getting emotional. Like, regardless of what's going on with your mom or anything, like, no matter what the issue is, y'all gonna still try to figure it out. Regardless of what, like, I don't have that. Like, God forbid anything happens to my mom or anything, like, my aunt's gonna have to figure it out, because that's how bad my sibling relationship is. So that's why I'm like so strong on y'all, because like y'all give me what I've been missing, what I was trying to find, and I found it. And that's why I say I'm content, because like ain't nobody gonna be able to. I already got my sisters, so like associates versus friends. So anyone else,
I know we're gonna get some napkins here in a minute.
Anyone else would probably fall more into like that associate category, because like I got my sisters, so like it's like literally I'm good. If anything happens, I'm good. My kids good, because I finally have my family. So I think that's why I look at friendship and why I go so hard. Why I'm just like, we can do this or we can do that or da 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 da, because like this is my family at this point. So
and that's the beauty of adulthood. Like, you can make your family your right? Because we don't get to choose our siblings, right? Because I don't have the best relationship with my sister either. So it is awesome to see that you have that within your family. But from on the certain
from the conversation we heard,
right. We can't. I mean, it's the common goal. I'm a problem solver, all the way. Like, I look at things and I have to solve it quickly. So hey, how do I make these moves? I'm all the way in Texas. I need to make moves in Michigan. So it's really, I think my sister respects me from that level to just listen and like, okay, she got it, and helping her navigate that. So I do think that is what that relationship is. I love him to death. Like, I'm the middle child. That's another thing that we have in common. We're middle children, and it's a work in progress, And I think that when I told you I'm accepting people for where they at versus where I want them to be, that helps that relationship, because I'm not expecting anything else than what they have already shown me and what they're capable at this point in their life to give me, and I just accept that. And I think, to piggyback off what Nick was saying, because I feel full and I'm finally embracing that, and the people that are showing up and supporting me, that I no longer feel a deficit in the people that are not there. So it makes that relationship a lot better, because I don't have expectations that's greater than what they can meet.
Right.
And our siblings that's how we learn friendships, right? Because those are the closest peers to us. And so I think for me, and I have 3 siblings. I have a younger sister who came later on. Papa was a Rolling Stone. But the three that I grew up with, right? That's how I learned how to communicate with other people, learn my social skills. And so I think as life went on, like we're close, but like not as close as I see other people. So there is some kind of like hurt there, I'll say. And I think I do fill the gap with friends as well. Like I have a lot of and I have like a lot of people, like I'll say around me, like if I'm throwing a party, I'm like, oh, I can call 20, 25 people. But like, again, going back to all right, well, who are you going to talk to when you're, in a drought, or like when you need someone? So that's for me, I'm defining now in my season. The difference between an associate, because then associates, I don't want to have standards for them that they can't meet, those expectations, and then be like, okay, get out of here. I have friends, like my circle of friends, and that's who I need to reach out to, need to have a better bond with, and rely on them more, like you were saying. So so my blueprint for friendships was from siblings, but also I've always been to predominantly white schools. I went to Armenian when I was in high school, but also like Black and white friendships are different. Like it's
I
a whole different vibe. So
Yeah.
me coming from Canada over to Michigan, I had to like turn into, I don't want to say turn into, but like I had to adapt to my environment, right? So like I had to learn in a sense how to be Black, and Black Canadian is different from Black American. I don't know if you all know that. Yeah. Even Black Caribbean is different from, so like I had to, like my first Black friend, I was extra excited. She put my first ponytail weave in my hair and I'm swinging it. And so like, it was like, man, to adapt to that. So it was just different, like navigating different, like, you know, friendships. And, you know, in that point, I wasn't true to myself because I was so young. So it's not like I can come and be Francine. I had to adapt to my environment and make friends. So that blueprint for me was all over the place.
That makes sense. That makes sense.
Yeah.
I would say too, the other, when I'm thinking about different blueprints too, when I say my college friends, they inspire me in a way that's like, they don't have that super, it's not nothing about it is trauma, right?
Yeah.
And they get to live a life that I'm like, oh, okay. I didn't have that, but I can see how it matured them as women. And I'm so inspired by that. You know, they pour into me in a different way that helps me move a different way, that I'm like, okay, I look up to them. I see that. And also, how do I model some of that for my children so that they have a little bit of that, you know? And so it's really important for me to be inspired by the people that's in my inner circle, because I'm steady growing and moving, and I want to make sure that we're growing and moving. I know that's, like I said, everything that you do, you like, hey, this is what I'm doing. Hey, you ever heard of therapy for Black girls? I think that's what you told me. And now I got a therapist I've been with for 6 years. It's always like pouring in to make you the better version of yourself, you know. And all my friends are like that. You know, even the people that I'm connected. When I think about the book club, it's a group of amazing women that inspires me. So I'm just connected to some bomb people.
No, I get that. And I brought up, and I think about it because, like, when I think about like the different tribes that I have, I be forgetting. I guess because y'all know everybody, but like when I think about like Miss Lois and Shan, like all of them are work people, like that just trauma is not attached to it. Like they just were able to show me different aspects of their life. They were able, and I'm always shout out Shannon and like her husband, like they are like literally like the hooks. To me that's that's like the
cool
dream.
Though. I like
historical Black college family, love it. Like they just like everything like amazing. But like it's not a trauma friendship at all. Like it's just like, I'm here, I got this thing going on, cool. She got this thing going on, cool. Like even with like Lois and Tamara and everyone I met from work, like in the moment they were what I needed. And they just gave me, and it goes back to family. Miss Lois gave me like that mom figure. Like everything I didn't have, I've been able to find in friendships. So like I think even with those, because like work friends I'm a little bit like, especially, after that I haven't tried to make any more work friends. This is why. Because usually once the job ends, the friendship ends. Like,
that's true.
After, they can say, oh no, we're going to be.
But after, Facebook friends for a while.
Exactly.
Liking
random stuff, but like it's never like authentic. So like after that group, I was just like, we work together, we can smile, but like once somebody get a new job, it's like, here's your card. Like, but that's okay. So I think that's like one area where it's like I'm a little bit more tight in regards to like reserve or like what they know about me, just because like I think they fall more into the associates. And that's just because I already feel like I met great people for work friendships that are still going, and that's enough to fill me up. So
So you guys are labeling different friends. Do you mix friends? So like you have your work friends, you have your college friends, you have your childhood friends. Because I'm all like, no, let's everybody hang out. And I did it, and it exploded on me last year. I'll say it I'll talk about it in another episode.
That'll be a different episode.
And I, so I'm learning like, well, Francine, not everybody has to like be friends with each other. Like everybody who does, doesn't have to get along. So,
Well, so far, my experience been pretty good. I mean, like, I think y'all done met my work friends, y'all met my childhood friends, and then friends of my adulthood. So far, everyone mixed pretty well. I haven't had any issues. But I think also, I was also thinking about, like, when you talked about just, like having to be able to shift based off, like, white friends, Black friends. Like, I think everyone who's still around, I don't have to switch anything. They know me for who I was. They know me for what I am. And, like, so it just all kind of blends, too. And I think also when y'all talking about just, like, being selective as we get older, like, there's certain people I just don't hang around. So, like, there's not, like, no one-off, like, Shanique will hang with that person type of friend. Like y'all, everyone's kind of the same too in personalities, even if they're not in the same like growth path. So I think that's why it's so easy to kind of mix too.
So you definitely mixed.
I mixed. I mean, y'all literally. I think y'all met everybody.
Yeah.
See,
I told you because you throw the bits, you know. Like I said that before. Like I have to get to the point where, and I think I'm working on that. It's something I'm working on is being okay, being center of attention, being okay. You know, setting these events up and doing that type of stuff. I don't do it. I'm always playing the supportive role for everybody, and that's just what I'm used to, and I feel comfortable in that. But it's like as I grow, it's like, you know what? Maybe you should do something. Like I think we were talking about, like I never threw a big birthday thing for me. It's like
be celebrated.
And be okay. And I remember I was getting the MBA. I was he was like, "Oh, I'm throwing this big party," and I was like, "You ain't got to. you don't have to do it. Please don't do that." Like it makes me feel some type of way. So it's like being okay to say, "You're right. I should celebrate this," and I should say, "Hey, everybody come together to celebrate this milestone in my life." But I never took that approach. So as far as mixing, no, because I'm always like, okay, I'm always getting invited and I'm just like, okay, I'm just going to go. But it's never me saying, hey, let me bring everybody together. I think that when we hit on that before, it's like, it's really eye-opening. It's something that I have to do. And something I got to learn to be okay with too.
Yeah. Because even when like the events that I throw out, even like some of them just like, I love color purple. I want people to know that I love color purple so they can enjoy it too. Yeah, so therefore, we do a whole color purple theme party. Yeah. And everyone who loves color purple or not can come too because they love me.
It was cute. We had a good time. Like, you know.
That's just how, I don't know. I just like, but I'm there with, I don't know how many times I've tried to throw you something.
You did. Yeah.
Like, it's just like pulling teeth. But I think it's got to be a forced thing where it's like, you deserve to be celebrated. Like, we have to change the blueprint of like how we grew up. Like, if we're not used to being celebrated, if we're not used to people like putting that love, or we already accomplished stuff and people haven't like really paid much attention, we got to focus, like you said, on the people who are willing. Like you said earlier with the friendships, like not kind of mourn the ones that like not worth it, but celebrate, smell the flowers now. So if you have people in your life who want to celebrate, who want to love on you, let them do it. Like, even if these other people are not going to come, like, you got enough people who want to love on you. We want to celebrate you.
I agree to that. I think, you know what? You're right. And like I said, I'm working on that. I'm a work in progress. So it's something that I'm saying, okay, you know what? You do deserve that, you know? I think, you know, when we graduated and nobody showed up, and that was like, I didn't think it, like, nobody showed up for me. Her family was there. And she said, you know what? My family here. You got it. Like basically, they going to celebrate you too, you know? And I was like, okay, cool. But after that, I never really let that bother me until somebody I was dating was like, you see? They try to use it as a manipulative tool. Yeah. And it's like, that always, if I never invite them, I ain't got to worry about them not showing up. And I think it's all revealing as we're talking. Yeah. So I think that it was easier for me to say, you know what? I'm not going to celebrate these things because
then you don't have to be disappointed.
I don't have to be disappointed. And I can celebrate myself, take myself on a trip. Do something for myself because I'm here for me, and that's enough. And I don't know. I did shy away. Like Nick tried to do everything. I was just like, no, I don't need it. I'm cool. Please don't.
Force it. Yeah, no, I'm definitely big on celebrating. I think more for my friends though than myself. Like and then like you, like I'll go on a trip in a minute for my birthday. Like I'm not, spending all this money to celebrate my birthday, but I definitely feel like everyone should be celebrated. Like life is, we all know, I don't want to be corny, but life is short. Like we got to enjoy it while we're here. And especially like the people around us, like we got to allow them to celebrate us, right? Because they love us and they want to show their appreciation when they can. So
how would you do though with the surprise? Like because I know your birthday, it was supposed to be a surprise. You figured it out and you start planning. So like, how would you do something like literally just, that's the thing with friends. Like,
it was so funny though because I got the email about your birthday and I was like, oh, I can't make it. And I was like, do Fran know about this? Because I'm gonna tell her I can't make it.
I found out, but I was like, they're not gonna do it right. So I was like,
exactly. So how do you plan?
My mom said the same thing. No, just like they didn't know all my friends, and then it was a little control thing, but yes,
it was outside the thing. Like you put food and like I don't know, like
Because I'm the one that throws everything, though. Like, I'm literally the event planner, involuntarily, right? So I guess and that was my first time ever having, like, something like that. So, but, you flew in from Texas.
I did.
And I know your son has the same birthday, so you were able to come.
2 days apart. But this year it's not a milestone, so whatever you do.
Okay.
But no, I think it's also just, like, like you said, accepting, and then when it is accepted, letting it go and just letting it be what it is. Because I think at the end of the day, it's the people who are wanting to put in the time to do it, right? It's the reason they want to do that. Like, you came top of mind. They want to do, like, see everything that you do for other people. Like, I think we just got to give people space to, like, let others celebrate us, because we deserve it too. And they do see what we're doing. They do see how amazing we are. And this is their way of showing appreciation for it. So, I feel.
I kind of want to jump back to, that's a good point. I want to jump back to the friendship loss part. Like, have you all, like, lost a friendship where either it was your fault or a friendship that you knew you had to let go for, your sanity, your mental health?
Oh, man, that's a good one.
Yeah, I would say it was just growing apart, and that was so hard to accept, because the thing is, like I said, I'm going to keep going on this. I think we get into a topic when we really talk about in detail what those struggles are. When you grow up a certain way and you're fighting so hard to want something, and you see this person next to you growing up the same way, and this is who you call your close friend, you're like, you want them to succeed too. But it's a hurtful thing when you want someone to succeed more or different. I don't want to say more, different than what they want for themselves. And so when you see somebody do something different than what they want, and you don't think that is conducive to what you value as success, you kind of move in different parts. Because I think, like, this particular friend was mad at me for I voiced my opinion on something that I felt very strong, and I still feel strongly about. But it's just like, I realized what I want in my life and how I set my life up, it doesn't have to be what they want in theirs. And what it did is it created a great divide. I don't think we would ever be as close as we were, which is okay. And I had to work through that. It was a season. At the season, we was tight at the hip, but right now we're not, and that's okay. Still have love for her, and I always will. But we won't be connected like that.
Yeah.
That's unfortunate. That's hard to get friendships back. Like, to get back to where you were in the beginning and have that same vibe and energy, and because like a little piece of you leaves with it when that friendship breaks or whatever happened, that distrust or whatever incident happened. Like, because I definitely have. I think I've had 2 friends that I've had to end friendships with, that girly reasons. It wasn't even like super, it just was not, like, it shouldn't have gotten to that point where we had to end our friendship. And so even now, I know, like, one of my friends, though, I did admit it was me. Like, I was not in the best season of my life, and so I wasn't the nicest to her. And then losing my other friend was kind of directly impacted how I treated her in that friendship, because I kind of blamed her. And she was a good friend, right? Like, she was a good friend. She, like, reciprocated things. Our kids hung out, and so that friendship ended. And then the friend that I do have left, our friendship is just not the same. And we used to be, like, travel together, kids played together. So I think that's hard. And I always look at my brothers, because they're really close with all my cousins, my male cousins. I don't think guys, like, struggle like
no, they don't. They don't.
And I want the secret sauce to that, because guys can, like, have, like, get it in the argument with their friend.
They keep it simple, and they keep it surface level. I think that we get into deep, like, it's deep, because it's like a sisterhood, and, like, if you feel sided by somebody that you like, this is my person, this loyalty, all of that is more important. It's like, hey, I can't, because that's a pain that you just don't want to feel. It's like, I can't. So,
and I'm sure they don't, like, they have different stuff they'll probably end friendships for, because I'm sure they got a brother and stuff too, but it's probably not like our little stuff. We're picking it apart, like, girl, so it's a whole different level. But I always envy my brother's friendships, because they can, like, lifelong friendships. And me and my girl cousins were always arguing that my brother and my male cousins, they go to Caribbean in Toronto every year. They hang out, like,
must be nice.
Right. So, but okay, we didn't give you a chance to say.
Well, because I'm thinking. I think the only one that I can think of is the one that I was telling you about. And that's why I'm so big on like not trauma bonding anymore, like not trauma sharing. Because like with this particular person, they were amazing. Like I love them to death. Like I clicked really quickly with them. And they were always there for me. Like they were always there for me when I needed them, stuff like that. But I felt like it got to a point where me personally, and the crazy thing I'm saying all this, I haven't talked to them to address this. So it's like, it's really random because like, I remember what happened. So I was going through a lot with my ex, and like I would lean on them a lot. Like just we're going through this, and it was one of those situations where I kept going back to this ex too. So it was like I have an issue. This person did this, they cheated, but I'm back with them.
It's like
yeah, right. And that's what it felt like. So I remember the last conversation we had. I just felt like she probably hung the phone, like sick of this shit. Phone could have disconnected, but in my mind,
she hung up on you.
Yeah, in my mind, she hung up on me, and I just never talked to her again. And I just say like, oh, she's tired of this.
Or did you feel like she didn't have space for what you were going through, or
honestly, the phone could literally disconnect it. I don't.
Because you never talked to her.
I never talked to her again because in my mind,
so you were having conversations.
Yeah, so I never like called back. Maybe if I would got the voicemail, like, oh yeah, she probably tired. But I never tried. I just left like, oh, she tired of this because it's been.
That's a little bit on you though.
I agree.
Yeah,
and
that's on you.
Man, that's over. What? Dream is 13. That's over like 10 years ago. I never picked up the phone. I never picked up the phone. Like it disconnected, or she hung up. And I just assumed that.
That just went on. I don't know. I don't know about that though. I think a little clarity would have been needed.
It would have, but I think I was so like, and it also gave me reflection because it did like also help me like finally end that relationship. I was like, man, this back and forth probably is draining to people.
Yeah.
Like, and that's why like I got really big on like just being more careful what I'm sharing and who I'm sharing stuff with. Cause like this probably was exhausting. It's probably like you keep giving this girl the same advice over and over, and she keep going back and then coming back crying about the same thing. It's just like, the energy. And I'm just like, I don't think I'm giving off good energy. So I think it was also a me thing saying like, I need to stop this. So like, even if it was a situation where I could have probably called her back, maybe I needed not to talk to her. Cause she was like, when I say she was like really holding me down in this space, even though I was talking to like y'all about like, she was really holding me down, it probably was draining. So like, I just took it as like, I need to figure this out. Yeah. So on one end I was able to figure it out, but I never got clarity on like what happened. Phone could literally
that could have been it though.
10 years.
It's been about 10 years.
But it reminds me too, like for the friend that I lost, like I never reached out and like, hey, let's fix this. But a dude that I was dating, not for sure. Oh, it was for sure pride.
Yeah, that's the whole thing.
But I think we also are more. I don't know why. I gotta process this with my therapist, but quicker to mend a relationship with a guy that we're dealing with versus a friend. Because I could easily reach out and be like, hey, let's just go out to brunch or something. But did I?
No. That could be a whole another 45 minutes.
Look.
Yeah, because I'm like, I agree. A female slides you is like,
that's it.
Yeah,
that's
like it's easily disposable, even though we've been through hell and water. But girl, get on. I don't need you in my life. But the dude called like, okay, come in.
Right.
Like, wait, hold on. So, but no, taking it back to like just the importance of our friendships. I think one, just going through some of the gems that we've already talked about, it is important to have your tribe and being intentional with your tribe. Being able to reciprocate and your tribe allowing you to have space when you need it. So I think there's just, like I said earlier, standards for friendships just as much as you have for dating. And so I've stuck to my standards for sure. Do you all think you've let any friendships slide in where you're like,
I would say no. I would say I understand where people are at. I'm starting to see where people are at and not wanting more than what they're willing to give. I have love for a lot of people, and I think I deal a lot with loyalty. Just because I've known a person this long, I have to be loyal to them, and I no longer hold that. I don't hold that. It doesn't hold me back anymore. So I accept people for where they at. I think more so I want to be inspired by the people that I call my tribe. I want to grow, and I never want to be stagnant. So if you're in a season where you're not willing to grow, and this is where you at, and we're no longer there, then that's just what it is, and I'm okay with that. I'm getting to be okay with that. I don't have that. I think you just go through life where you just like, okay, it is what it is, and you kind of move on because it's more to life, and I want to continue to see the mountaintops and keep going and growing and growing. And if you're only here, we're never gonna get there because this is where you're comfortable at. So
it's that part, the comfortable. Man, that's a big one because like I've kept my standards, especially since like moving back to San Antonio. Like I had to let go like a lot of people who I was cool with when I first lived in San Antonio, and then also with Michigan because it's like if you're comfortable right here, I can't like help you get up if you're not willing to. Like if I'm literally dragging you to get up and then
it's too much.
As soon as I let you go, you right back where you were. Like that's not my job. Mm-hmm. And I also had to realize for friendships, especially like if you are a people pleaser or trying to get through that, like if I'm always helping you and you always calling me because you need something, money, something, but like that's all. When I see that you have another group of friends that you actually hang out with, that's not a friendship. And I had to learn that from a people pleasing standpoint because I have people like here in San Antonio who like, if they need something, they're going to call me because they know Neat going to help, right? But if I see on Facebook, like, but you just had a whole birthday party, I wasn't even invited. Yeah. Like, I had to reevaluate those type of friendships.
I think you told me about that too.
Yeah,
you helped
exactly.
me see that too because
I'm just like, I'm not going to be used either. That's not a friendship. No, like, I should be able to, I don't mind helping, but like, I also want to feel like I'm actually appreciated. You know what I mean? So like that's where my standards is like, hey, you know, is this a two-way street? Are you trying to grow? You know, how can we support people from that perspective? That's kind of how I look at it now for my standards.
Yeah, I agree to that. You know, I would say all my friends fill my cup, and that's a beautiful thing because I have room to fill theirs as well. So that's important to me. I've been connected with people that just drained the life out of me, and I just kept staying in that just because that's my friend. Yeah, and it's no longer that. So yes, I have standards now. Thank you.
Thank you. I got my one-off like ratchet party friend, but like I know I can't go to you for business advice. Like I got my one-off. So
I mean, but you got different friends for different events. You know, you need that variety.
So you bring them all together. Then you get the.
You don't want to go into that stage.
I was just gonna say, I don't know. Well, is that what happened?
No,
we're not. We'll do that another time.
We minus Sneak. Minus the blueprint. Which I have a duo conversation. I'll put flowers in my spot.
We'll leave that conversation for another time.
Well,
so this was a great conversation.
I think so. And I like, again, make sure you go out there and find your tribe. Yes. It's very important to growth. It's very important to doing something different. I think that even when I think about like how my model friendship, I didn't really see her with a lot of close friends, you know? And so to me, it was just like what we kind of reiterated about what I was missing, basically. And grow from there.
Yeah. And you can't do life alone too. Like I know there's when I grew up, it was such a like grandiose thing to say like, oh, I don't have female friends. Did you guys have that too? Where it's like I don't mess with females, but you cannot do life alone. And I didn't understand that. I still don't understand it, but like you can't do life alone no matter what. Like you need people. Like that's just how humans work, right? So yes, this was again a great conversation, and I'm sure.
I think the big thing too is just it's okay to let go. Like if it's not serving you no more, if it's not pouring and you're not pouring, like you don't have to hold on to things that's like not giving you what you need because you may be holding them back too. Like maybe they need that as well. Like everyone's not for everyone, so like this is something else to think about. Like
you might be holding them back. Yeah.
What did Elsa say? Let it go.
Let it go. You about to let it go? Go ahead. I feel like you gotta do your little one too.
I mean, you want to bring out a song so bad.
I know. We gotta do
you can be the outro.
Do the outro for today's podcast. When I get that track though, y'all be like, start it right here.
I was like, what you need?
In the background. Oh my God. Okay, so episode 2, again, we're going to be coming back with some more episodes for season 1. So we want you to continue watching us on TAN TV. So we appreciate you all listening and getting to know us. And, you know, you'll learn more about us as we go through all of our different episodes.
Yes.
You guys want to add anything?
No, check us out.
Definitely. You can say that louder.
Definitely check us out on TAN TV, all platforms, stream.
And also, I think it's also important if anything that we talk about triggers anyone, you're not working with a therapist or anything, I definitely suggest seeking therapy. Not saying that, well, I think it's beneficial for everybody. To be honest. But we don't want to open wounds and just leave people there. So definitely make sure that you're, seeking resources.
Yeah. And if therapy is not something that you can do right now, or it's not something if you're like, financial gain. You know, there are always crisis services you can use too. You know, there's 24/7 crisis. You can text 741-741 and get 24/7 crisis service through text messaging. So there's always room to talk to someone. Like, you never have to go, like you all say, we don't have to go through life alone. And even if you don't have those friends, you know, you can start those conversations, and hopefully that leads to what you need as you grow.
I think you can go on the internet now and rent a friend though. Like, there's
that's not the same. That's not the same.
We ain't renting.
I'm just joking, but you can. Like, it's crazy. So, but no, okay. So,
build your tribe.
Yes, for free.